Can you please give me an amen if you have been enjoying this forum? What a beautiful theme has been developing today. It's about the Father and about the children of God, right? The theme has just been absolutely amazing today. If you look at me, you would never guess that I actually used to be an orphan, because I would never fit into a regular description of an orphan. I did not grow up in the orphanage, and I did not grow up without a family. In fact, I actually had a very wonderful home and was very well taken care of. But you see, there are many faces to orphans. We can put the slide up. Last year, I happened to ask the Lord what I thought would be a very simple question. I said, Lord, I really want to know what is the biggest lie that I believe. And you know what? He's so good. He answered me. He said, Jenny, you believe a lie that you're not wanted. And I thought, wow, really? So I wanted to know more, and I went back to him, and I said, Lord, what is the root of this lie? I want to know. What is it? And he answered to me again, and he said, you believe that you're not wanted because you live a life of an orphan instead of living like my daughter. He said, when I tell you I will take care of you, you don't trust me. When I say I will never leave you, you don't believe me. You live a life of an orphan and not like a daughter would. Well, then I went back to the Lord and I said, Lord, I'm not an orphan. I did not grow up in the orphanage. And he said, you do not have to grow up in the orphanage to become one. It just happens. So here are the three things the Lord showed me that happened to me. Even though in the beginning I said, I really did grow up in a good home, but I did not have a dad. He passed away when I was 5, and my mom never remarried. And not having a dad did create a gaping hole in my heart. So that's number one. Number two, I am a person of 3 very different countries, very different cultures. I was born and I grew up in Tajikistan. I love that country. One day I will go back. But because of the political instability, my family moved to Russia. And I lived in Russia 9 years. And this particular move from Tajikistan going to Russia was a really traumatic experience for me. Though I have never experienced violence, like we can imagine, I was uprooted from the country I loved and felt safe. And I was brought to a brand new country and a brand new group of people. So that experience played a huge role in my life. And the third one, maybe a lot of you can relate to that. I'm a first-generation Christian. And you know what? When I invited Jesus into my heart, oh man, I wish there was someone close to me to say, hey, Jenny, do you know what happened to you? You became a daughter of the King. But there was no one close to me to say that to me. Friends, the moment you and I invited Jesus in our hearts, automatically we became his sons and his daughters. I want you all to raise your hands. You are the son and you are the daughter, not just of any kind of father. You are the daughter and the son of the King of Kings. There is no one higher. Being his sons and being his daughters becomes our most important identity. And it becomes the place from which we need to live our lives from. God loves family, and he is on the move to restore it. Can't you feel it? Well, there is an enemy, and he hates the family, and he's on the move to destroy it. In fact, creating orphan children that look like me is one of the biggest agendas of the enemy. And here is why. If you are a son and a daughter, you will always know you are wanted, you are loved, you are chosen, you are full of faith, and you are full of confidence because you know you have full access to your daddy in heaven. But if you live like an orphan would, you feel rejected, you feel abandoned, you doubt, will my father really take care of me? You feel unworthy of God and his love for you. And you will have little faith, oh my goodness, but lots of fear. That's the difference, big difference. And here is the truth. There are really 2 ways to combat orphanhood. There's a physical one where we do bring abandoned street kids, at-risk children into families, into homes. But the other one is combating the orphaned heart. And this one is so easily missed. We all know God loves us. We hear this particular phrase in our churches all the time. But do you truly believe that God likes you? Do you believe that God actually adores you? Do you believe that God thinks about you day in and day out, day in and day out? I have 3 children. They're in Atlanta, Georgia. I miss them. I think about them. But not even at night. I sleep at night. But God thinks about you every minute and every second. Friends, our God, our Abba, our Father, He is dreaming about a family. He's dreaming of a family where hurt and at-risk children are brought into the families, but He's also dreaming of His children, of His sons and daughters, start walking in their true identity of the sonship and the daughterhood. He also wants us to know who we are and whose we are. And I believe that the foundation for any successful adoption or ministry that works with adoption has to start with us knowing who we are. It has to start with us knowing our identity. If you're living a life of an orphan, it is going to be really hard to set other orphans from that spirit. It's going to be really hard. The transformation of adoption and of love has to start with us before we can lead others into a place of love and a place of acceptance. That's just the truth. For too long, we have been told that we're merely His servants. And for too long, we have been told that we are not really worthy of Him and that He's a somewhere far away, a distant Father. And for too long, a very simple truth really has been withheld from us. And this truth is that you and I are His sons and His daughters in whom He delights. Now, you see, this whole conversation started me asking a lot, what is my biggest lie? And maybe your lies are very different. They don't really matter. But I'm just sharing here with you this lie just to show that I'm in the process of being restored to my true identity. And the good news is this, I'm about to be done, is that in John 14:18, we know this verse backwards and forwards. Jesus says, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Friends, He wasn't just talking about the orphans that can fit into a regular description of one. He was talking about also orphans that look like me and that fill our churches and fill our ministries. I know that it takes courage to adopt. I know it takes courage to be part of this amazing World Without Orphans movement, but it also takes a courage to actually look inside your heart and see, am I harboring an orphan spirit? Am I finding myself relating more to the orphan or to the daughter or a son? He's the father to all orphans and to all hurting children that are in our orphanages, in our foster care, but also in our churches that look just like me. And here's the challenge that I want to end my time with. Identity, true identity, can only come from the Father. I leaned into my Father and He answered me. And I just want to challenge you with the same thing. Tomorrow, we're going to transform this room into a place of ministry. You're going to be invited to come to a place where you're going to have a just time between you and between your daddy, your Abba, your Papa. And I want to challenge you with this. I want you to press into the heart of God and ask Him, Lord, am I truly your daughter? Is this how you really see me? Am I truly your son, like you see me, like you say I am? And guess what He's going to say? You truly are. And when that revelation is sealed in your heart, I really want to encourage you to please take this revelation and tell to the people around you. Start telling them, hey, did I forgot to tell you that you're the daughter and that you're the son of the Most High King? Would you promise me to do that? Thank you.